Hey guys, welcome back to Maxplained Dawn of War Unification. Today I have a video for you, a faction video, that is a faction overview for Chaos Demons. The Chaos Demons are basically all the demons you may have seen in different factions like the Horrors or Plague Bearers or all the stuff in one faction. It's basically the Chaos without the Marines, you can think of it. It is a very unique faction. It has unique resources in a sense. It has very unique faction mechanics and stuff. Very hard to play, at least in my opinion. I have a high skill ceiling when it comes to micro and stuff. A lot of things to keep track of. So very hard to play, but also very strong if you know how to play it. They have the different gods and whatever, and the worship, you can choose one of the 4 chaos gods and stuff, which then enables different units and abilities and whatnot. So we will cover this all in a big old save game I have prepared. So yeah, see you in a second. And here we are in the save game. As usual, before we cover the various units and stuff, we will talk about the resources and unit caps. Resources look pretty standard. In the beginning you have requisition and you have power, but you do not gain any power the normal way. It's also called demonic power, but it's basically power. Requisition you gain from your HQ. You have listening posts, but these listening posts provide a little more. It's not showing the maximum because it decays. It is the normal 6 when you capture it, and also another 6 or 12 when you build a listening post, but then it goes up when you upgrade it, not to 18 but to 21 and then to 30. So you have a little higher requisition income from your listening post. This is because you do not get requisition power the normal way, but yeah, I will come to the power in a second. You also gain requisition by one special building, which is called the warp signature over here, which provides 5 income. The HQ provides 25 as well, so a little more from the HQ and a little extra from the warp signature. And this is all because power you do not gain the normal way. You get power from building stuff. You see now on the screen a little overview I created with the help of the Skybug back in the day, where you see which buildings provide a power gift. You see that the biggest power gift is from a HQ, but yeah, every building except the warp signature, for example, and some the minor defense building like the Eye of Terror, for example, give you some power back. You also have the overview, the requisition you pay per power. There you see that, for example, the demonic shrine from the normal building is very efficient. Also the infernal lab. Yes. You can also trade power or requisition here in the warp signature also, or in the infernal lab. Infernal lab is the thing you can build on select deposits, which when we're about it also provides 40 requisition and not power. And there you can trade. To enable these trades you need to upgrade your demonic power, or in your listening posts your global income. Basically these are your normal requisition incomes, and these are your power upgrades, which do not gain any increased power income by itself, but these enable more of these trades here when you upgrade it, you see here. And it also increases the time it takes, or decreases. So you can, the first one is right away invaded. You pay 100 requisition and get 100 power back. The next one you pay 300 and only get 250 power back, and the last one you pay 500 and only gain 400 back. So the most cost efficient way is of course the first trade, but it also takes the longest. So if you are in dire need, you want to use one of those, but in generally I would prefer these. You can also right click it here. You see it in dev mode, it's basically instant, but in normal play you can let's say overwatch these to have a more or less constant trade of requisition to power, and if you are in more need you can then line up one of these other trades. I would highly discourage using these infernal trades of power to requisition. The first one here is you pay 200 power and only get 150 requisition. So these trades are all unfavorable in the return. You see also here you pay 400 power for 250 requisition, and then 600 power for 400 requisition. So very bad, and you generally want to have your requisition income from your listing posts and your warp signatures in general. So no, do not trade. Warp signatures are limited to 3, I think in general, or is it per HQ? Okay, per HQ. So if you have more HQs, you can build more of those in general. Okay, so this is your resources, how you get the different resources. The unit caps are also special in the sense that you do not have like infantry and vehicle, you have lesser and greater demon cap. You start off with 6 and 0 and can get up to a different amount depending. If you choose, you can choose in a research building in the dark circle in the beginning if you want to favor like lesser demons or greater demons. If you choose lesser demons, you can get up to a 24 and 5. If you choose greater demons, you can go up to 18 and 8 of these caps. How you increase your cap is by building lesser or greater demon portals. A lesser demon portal provides you +6 and a greater demon portal +5 of the greater demons. Yes, that's how the caps work. I will tell you, or you will see when I go through the units which are lesser and which are greater demons and how the pop distribution affects that. Okay, I think this covers the resources and unit caps. We can now go through the buildings. The buildings you see over here, I built multiple HQs just to show you that you do not gain any visual indication for what they do if you attack up. The whole tech progression is in your HQ. You get add-ons, and even the tier 1 and tier 2 Titan unlocks are all add-ons. So if you lose your warp gate, you lose basically everything. Also, most of your buildings you have, basically all the buildings I think, require a warp gate. So if you lose your warp gates, you cannot build most of the buildings, and also your buildings will start to decay. And yeah, they will die basically over time, so you want to have a warp gate at all times. Warp gate, the HQ also is, as usual, you get your builder units, you get your first capping units, and your first 2 commanders, and you can choose a worship. The worship is basically a one-time research. You can only choose one or nothing, then you go undivided. If you choose one, you go for Korn, Nurgle, Slanesh or Siege, and this unlocks different units. If you go for one of these, you get a herald of these, you get special units, you get sometimes also special weapons for the squads, but that's all I can tell you when we go through the units. The HQ is also the place where you get your Titan units. That would be over here. Here I already built a Scarbrand, the exiled one, for example. It would be on this position. Okay, now quickly going through the production buildings. Basically, you have your lesser demon portal is what the name suggests. You build all your lesser demons over here. Korn, Nurgle, Slanesh and Siege. All of these units can be deep striked from here. You can build them and then you can deep strike it right away. Same goes for the greater portal, but not all you can produce here gets deep striked. For example, these Defiler kind variants will not deep strike over here. Greater demons overall. And later on you get the Doom Pit. The Doom Pit you can build. This is in tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. In the tier 3 you can get your tier 1 Titans over here. Your Fire Lord, which is the super heavy, but also the greater Chaos Spawn, which is in the same league as these Defilers over here. Also has some very unique abilities. You have the Wild Sacrifice, which is in Sacrifice you can use to cast on a commander, which temporarily increases your unit caps. And then we have these. I'm sorry that I need to read it because there's so much going on for the Chaos Demon, so I did not remember what all these do. We have the Blood for the Blood God. And these are all, I think, area costs. You target an area, and all allied within gain exceptional damage for a short mind, and yeah, basically just some damage bonus. And Nurgle giving regeneration. Slanesh basically disables abilities from enemies, and Singe get damage protection. And then we also have Chaos, Gift of Chaos, basically the undivided one. All infantry, all friendly demon and commanders with an area gain instability protection and morale restoration. What instability is, I will tell you when we are talking about the units. And all infantry squads, even allied ones, suffer a small amount of morale damage. Okay, so this is basically all enemy foes get morale damage and you get morale bonus. One last thing about the worship is that if you go, for example, for the Corn worship, you will not have access to any Nurgle Slanesh stuff. If you go for Slanesh, you will not get access to Nurgle stuff, Corn stuff. Same goes for Nurgle and Singe. These do not like. If you go for one, you cannot get the other. This goes for all the Defilers and Greater Demons as well. So this is yeah, if you choose one, you cannot get the opposite basically. Your research building is your dark circle over here. In this you first choose Greater or Lesser Demons. Most of the researches here are for both paths, but there are I think 5 or 4 or 6 of these which are dependent what path you choose, and you can also only get a limited amount of gifts. I think it's 11 or 10 of these, so you cannot get all researches. You need to pick basically. All these researches cost a lot of demonic power, so basically all research stuff base is more power, and most of the units you can see here cost only requisition, sometimes a bit of power. So your lesser demons are only requisition for the most part. Okay, there are more buildings. We have buildings over here, and we have first and foremost the Maledictum. Maledictum is a building that is free to build but only has 20 HP, and yeah, takes a long time to build. You see here, totally free but takes quite a long time to build. It has some upgrades over here depending if you choose Greater or Lesser Demons. It is the place where you have the Demonhood Ascension research as well, and it can get these little obelisks over here. Demon Fang obelisk by disability, which stabilizes the Maledictum, these obelisks. Also these obelisks stabilize it as well. And you can get the Hellspawn, which is a Tier Titan equivalent unit. Yeah, that's the Maledictum. That's basically all your production and stuff out of the way. Defensive wise, you have these Demon Claw obelisks, which are pretty mean. They also grant some buffs, which I tell you in a second what is true for all buildings, and you can upgrade them with the Firebolt add-on, which does not replace their weapon but gets an additional weapon. Therefore it is also locked behind tier 3, and unlike normal turrets where the second weapon option is enabled in tier 2. And then you have this little Eye of Terror, which is a very unique thingy. I need to read what it actually does. It has some true sight, of course, that's what I know. A long sight range, reduces enemy morale when near, and weak victims. Yeah, so you can. It's basically like a little mine that when units come closer, they get, I think, stunned, when I understand it correctly, and lose their morale. Costs a lot of power, so I normally would not use it. I would rather get these cool Demon Claw obelisks. In terms of economy, you of course only have your demonic shrines and your warp signatures, as well as the infernal labs. In the demonic shrines you can also build a mark, depending if you choose a mark. I will not choose it here because I have my undivided units as this player. You can then add a little mark depending on what god you chose. All these buildings you see here, except I think this Eye of Terror, grant auras around these. You see this little glowing over here, which increases the HP of unit around. You have a little overview here where I show you the health bonus or maluses depending in if you are near buildings. This is multiplicative, so if I go closer here, I think you see the HP increasing the more different buildings I have around. For normal buildings it is 4%, for the HQ it is 6%. And as these are all multiplicative, I'm not sure what other auras, except for a morale increase aura, which is the instability thing I will talk later. It has, if you know, you can tell me in the comments. And these marked shrines also have effects on the units. If these units are from the god the mark is about, like if you have siege units and you make a siege mark, they get more HP as well. 5 HP for lesser demons and 2.5 HP for greater demons, and all multiplicative also with these buildings bonus. If they are from the opposite god, like say you chose siege and already have some Nurgle units around, you get maluses from the HP. 2% for lesser demons and 1.5% for greater demons. If there are other bonuses than HP, like HP generation damage, I not know. If you know, please write it in the comments. Okay, and yeah, the last thing about health and worship I will tell you when we talk about units. I think this should cover the buildings and the building auras and what they provide. There's one last thing, you have an upgrade. This is why they glow red here. You have one upgrade here that increases the general stability of these, and there's one that makes these all flamey and deal damage around units. So this is an upgrade which they have all buildings basically. Okay, now go to the units. We start as usual with the commander units, and there are quite a lot of, because there are a lot of variants depending on what you choose. Your builder, we start with the builder of course, not with the commanders. The Lost Soul is the builder, and the Lost Soul is very versatile. It's not just the builder for all the buildings around. The buildings, also one thing I forgot, you have no building, they got ticked and then they warp in themselves basically. This can also phase shift, so it does avoid damage, and it can jump. What it also can do is detect infiltrated unit, it can decap enemy points, and it can be attached to your squads. So before we go any further, we talk about the concept of stability and instability. All lesser demons have the concept called instability. So this means they are constantly losing morale, if not near any morale inducing buildings or commanders. And if they lost morale, they will not deal less damage as it is for normal factions. They will still deal the normal damage, but they will decay, so the HP will go down over time and they cannot be reinforced. So you want to have them getting back to a shrine or any building to restore their morale and then come back into a fight again. So this is the point where it becomes very micro intensive to play them, but also very rewarding because they are in turn very strong units overall. And you can also attach commanders or the Lost Soul over here to give them stability. So basically a commander or a Lost Soul attached to the squad will give them morale regeneration, which then cancels out the morale loss they will get over time. So this is the stability thing. The other thing is with the HP and stuff for the gods. You have here a little overview where, as you see, it's called health percentage under worship of chaos gods. I told you that some units get disabled once you choose one god, but if you have units of this particular, of the opposite of this particular god still on the field, they get a big HP malus. You see it over here for, if you choose like you have flesh hounds or bloodletters and you choose Slanesh, they only had 60% of the HP, and for greater demons it is 75%. So if you have the opposite, they will get some HP reduction. The only exception are the pink horrors over here, because pink horrors are your only ranged unit for the chaos demons, or one of the only ranged option for chaos demons. So they will still be able to build once you chose Nurgle, and they only get a 10% HP reduction. So the Siege grants its favors even for it's horror's favor also for Nurgle lovers. So this is the worship, final part to the worship, and yeah, the stability. Again, the Lost Soul is very versatile, as it can be attached to a cancel stability. It can be tagged, it can build and phase shift while decapping. So very versatile, nice to scout with it early and then use it later on. Your first commander is the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord is very versatile. It starts with the Flame Tongue ability, has an aura which increases morale of units around, can be attached to cancel instability, and you see here that it also can get a multitude of different abilities. It also depends if you choose lesser or greater demons, if you get the different abilities. These is the abilities you get when you choose greater demons. In particular, this is the demonic shield over here, which grants temporary resistance to all damage. You will note that all these abilities also cost some power to use, which is important to keep in mind. He also gets wings with some upgrades, which allows him later to jump. And here you can summon portals. These portals are similar to Elder gates. You can go in and come out of the other gate, but you see it only stays there for a limited amount of time. Your HQ can also get these buildings, and your commander. So you can use those to get your units on the field if you cannot deep strike them or want to retreat them back to them. That's also one, and you can get a Demon Hood Ascension. We will talk about the greater demons later on. The other commander unit you have access to in tier 2 are your Ebon Geists. These are basically hero horrors. Commanders also are affected by instability, however, so you want to have a soul or a commander attached to them. They start with these black horrors over here, but you can also add purple, green or red horrors. These purple and green are tier 2 locked, or basically as you get them, and the red horrors are in tier 3. The purple horrors are offensive against all targets, but especially against morale, so these are more your flamer kind of units. The green horrors are good against infantry and heavy infantry, so these are poisonous anti-infantry, and then you have your red horrors, which have a big AoE, I think, and good against basically everything. Depending on the upgrades, depending on greater or lesser demons, you get upgrades. For the greater demons, you get a Dark Speech. All neighbor infantry listens, whispers, and resolve and weakens, basically random mental effects. So this sounds like reduced morale, reduced HP, and also some ability disables. Let's see, this is computer 2. If we can quickly jump over to computer 2 to see what abilities they have with the other, with the lesser demons. Lesser demons allows them to get more in the squad, you can see here, but these guys are more tanky and have a higher statue. This is the research. You also see that this Chaos Lord is bigger than this Chaos Lord. This is also because of the greater demon specialization. For lesser demons, they also get access later to the Cloak of Darkness, which makes them and units around infiltrated. You see here, very nice to have. They can still attack and everything, but are infiltrated. So very useful ability, costs some power still. You also can quickly check what abilities you get for the lesser demons. For the Demon Lord, you get still the Infernal Rift, the Jump, and the Flame Tongue, which is Flame Tongue is a big AoE attack. Goes quite a long way, but you can also only target it next to the Demon Lord, which is basically a skill shot of sense. And you can also get the Gaze of Murder. Target unit gets lifted higher and higher, drained health, and yeah, that will be basically siphon health basically, and yeah, very far instantly killed. Not sure if it's instantly killed, but it does a lot of damage. Yeah, only uses the one unit in the squad. Yeah, basically a targeted ability, and of course also can transcend to Demon Hood. You also noticed maybe that you have this little corn icon over here, where we have it not over here, and here you have a Nurgle icon. and a Siege icon, and what Slanesh and Siege icon. So these are very different entities, so basically different kinds of Demon Lords. They have some, how should I say, special abilities. If you build them before if you build a Demon Lord before you chose a Lord, a Chaos God to worship, it is basically the undivided one. And only after you chose a worship, you can then build the Demon Lord of the special worship. And yeah, they have the bonuses you would think. The Chaos Corn Demon Lord give you some more damage for him and units around. Nurgle Chaos Demon Lord has some increased HP. Slanesh Demon Lord is faster. The Siege one, I think, can hold bowls, demon bowls. I think. I haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure he can. Okay, and the last commanders basically you have access to depends on what Chaos God you chose. You get a Herald of Khorne, Nurgle, of Slanesh, or of Siege. The Herald of Khorne they all can be attached to swords as well and are melee. The Herald of Khorne is generally a big, good combatant. He can siphon some life if attached, basically regenerating some health when it fights, and has the Blood Frenzy ability, increases the movement speed of the squad and of course of him. Also doubles the ferocity, basically. He's basically increased damage as well. The Nurgle one has a Rot ability which deals damage around them. Quickly check in computer 3 if we can quickly jump over to him. There you go. This Nurgle's Rot damages all nearby enemies over time as long as they remain within the cloud. So basically you click it and then it stays around for a while and takes damage around him. The Herald of Slanesh is generally just a pretty good fighter, has no special abilities. But then you have also the Herald of Siege, which has two abilities, the Gift of Siege and the last one. The Gift of Siege does random damage to troops in target area. Basically you can target ground or squads or even buildings. Does some random damage amount, and you have the Power of Change, which increases the ability recharge speed and armor piercing, basically damage bonus of all units around. You see them, if it activated, they glow blue, and the units will then do increased damage. Very nice, because this guy is also ranged focused. If you have a lot of horrors around him, for example, you can increase the damage by quite a bit. Okay, speaking of horrors, we have them over here in the lesser demons. The lesser demons, I have them sorted by tiers and by god. In the tier 1 you have access to all these units. I will now go through the horrors because I have Siege selected, so I have it right away. Horrors are normally pink horrors, that is limited to 1. If you go lesser demons you can build 3. These are your main ranged combatant, are good against infantry, unlike other horror variants, because this is your basic infantry. You need to have some anti-infantry ranged option. This is why these are good against infantry, but also decent against vehicles and buildings, basically an all-rounder in range. Pink horrors can get the Bolts of Siege if you chose the Siege worship in tier 3. They also, if they die for whatever reason, they will spawn a blue horror on the place they died. So you have a little comeback basically. They are also ranged units, and if those die, they only live a certain amount of time, so they will decay. Not decay, but just die after a certain time. Then there will be a Brimstone horror in their place, which also has a little range damage, but has even less HP than the blue horror, and does some damage around it as well, some damage over time around it. These guys are generally, as you see, very quickly back dead again. Very important unit in general. You cannot go without at least one squad of horrors, in my opinion. Now jump over to the so that we can see all these units. Okay, the bread and butter units are your Furies. The Furies do not start infiltrated, they start as normal. These are your only unit that can cap squads, apart from some Basically, yeah, there are some one or two exceptions for that, but these are basically your units you want to have around. They can cap, they have a bit of instability protection, so they do not die as quickly when they lose morale. This is also because they need to stay around in areas where you do not have buildings and stuff to regain their morale as easily. So if you capture, for example, a critical location or relic, so that they just don't die when they capture relic. That is, they can also jump right away, and they have two upgrades. The first one allows them to get infiltrated and breathe some fire, so they get some ranged attacks with them, similar to, let's say, the fire breathing abilities of Possessed from Chaos Marines, but not as strong, of course, as it is a very early unit. Are limited to 4 as well. And yeah, do not remember what the second upgrade does, but there are 2 upgrades for them. I think it is, wait, over here, it says, the claw goes stronger, maximum size of the squad will increase, but I do not think for every warp gate this is true actually. I think this is a minor mistake. We have now a maximum of 8 and now, okay, by quite a lot actually, because we have a lot of HP, so HQ, so they get a lot of extra squad size. And there's also one thing, their melee attack isn't very strong, but their melee attacks give random debuffs, and one of the random debuffs is, you see it here, some extra wounds, basically some extra damage over time. They can confuse, and most importantly, thunder armor. So if you attack with multiple furies, one squad, they can reduce the armor so that other squads can deal more damage. This is exceptionally good against buildings, because buildings cannot run away from your melee attacks. So yeah, if you want to kill buildings fast, these units can help you reduce the armor of the building, and then you can kill the buildings with different units. So very versatile, very important to micro them good. This is basically the gatekeeper of a good or mediocre Chaos Demon players, is how they use their Furies, in my opinion. In Tier 1, as I said, you also have access to the first variant of all the Chaos God units. For Khorne, you have the Flesh Hounds. So they are generally available even if you do not choose a path, but get better if you choose their respective path, of course. The Flesh Hounds is a melee unit that also gets some damage, some HP back if they fight in melee. They detect, which is very important, because they are a little more durable than your little soul over here. So if you want to have some mobile detections, they are really fast, as you can see here as well. These are your way, and they can also feast on their flesh, so they can get more HP if they eat enemy corpses, but this is limited to 100, not to add 200, like for crude carnivores, for example. Then you have the Nurglings. The Nurglings are very puny little demons over here, low HP, high model count, very slow, and generally not considered very good units. They have a little slow on their attack, and also I think deal some damage over time around them. Causing rot and decay, so yeah, but these are very slow units, and for Nurgle these are okay, but yeah, they die too quickly to be very effective. On the other hand, you have these Fiends of Slaanesh, which are very strong, very good offensive wise against pretty much everything, very good against buildings as well. So if you want to be aggressive in Tier 1 and want to kill some listening posts in Tier 1, Fiends of Slaanesh are the way. These guys are the only one of those that cost 3 population. All these cost 2, the Nurglings 1, and these 3 because they are that strong. Very expensive to reinforce and very lengthy reinforcement time as well, but very effective in what they do. Very fast as well, can take a bit of punishment as well, but yeah, need to retreat. And then you have the Screamers. The Screamers are pretty nice because they're also very fast, but can also jump. So they're very good damage wise, but yeah, do not take damage as easily. Very good in forcing enemies to run away or go from multiple sides. So Screamers are good well used in pairs, for example. So you have one on one side and then you can cut off the retreat, for example. Very good unit, and very nice that they can jump, so they can get quickly out of combat and in the vicinity of a building that can provide them with stability again. In Tier 2, you get access to more units. You get access to the blood letters. Blood letters are, yeah, mainly, of course, melee combatants can siphon some health. If they siphon, they get some HP back when they hit with their blades, and they have the ability Blood Haste, increases the movement speed and reflexes. Basically increases they are faster, and also they can evade melee attacks. So this is also a survivability ability, and note that it also do not cost any power. Only the commander abilities cost power. So this is very good if you want to save them. Basically the evasion of melee attacks is pretty good, so they can survive longer, and also that they get HP back from attacking allows them to fight for longer, even if they aren't lost their morale and getting some HP damage over time. The HP they get back from the attacks makes up a bit, so they can sustain in the fight longer. Speaking of sustainability, we have these Plague Bearers over here. Can we quickly jump over to the Nurgle player here? There we have it. These Plague Bearers are very slow but very durable. They are a little faster than I thought over here, and have this little toggle ability, Plague Aura, which is similar to the aura of the Herald of Nurgle, but you can toggle it. And oh, non-Nurgle, this 6 members. So they need to have at least 6 members to use it. So if they lose members, that will get disabled. And it states that it also infests non-Nurgle demons, but I do not think that is true. To be honest, I do not see any damage on allied units around here, so I think this is generally good to use as it does a lot of damage around them. Yeah, but they are slow, so they can be kited pretty easily. Not as slow are of course the Demonettes. We will look up in a second when we can change our player again. Over here, these Demonettes are very fast, very deadly, but very fragile, as is the Slanesh way. They have 2 abilities. One is the Allure, which is a target ability to one squad, which basically stuns them, I think. Are stunned and turned in each other, so they are confused. One squad, that is infantry only, I think. Yeah, 1 squad per Demonette, so not a whole area around them. And they have these Pavan of Slanesh, or Pavane, basically increasing their movement speed and causing accuracy reduction and morale loss on nearby enemy units. So basically they get faster and enemies around them will deal less damage around them. And this bonus of the increased speed is also carried over to any commander that is attached. So they will then turn little pink over here and can run quite fast. Very important ability, make sure to use it. And lastly, we have the Flamers of Scenes. Flamers of Scenes do not have an ability, but are very good against enemy infantry and morale. They can flame a lot of infantry units. So if you face infantry heavy factions like Tyranids, or also what I call again, 13th Company, for example, you can use these Flamers very well in Tier 2. In Tier 3, you get also access to even more units. You get access to the Hate Angels over here. We quickly need to jump over to Computer 4, because they are available for all branches, I think except for Khorne, but they have ranged weapons. So this is another ranged option. And I'm not sure, can they can capture points. So this is one of the few squads that also can capture points. And they have 2 abilities, also Allure and Pavan of Slanesh, basically the same as the Demonette. So they can allure units to make them confused and stunned, and the Pavan to make them faster. They can also jump because they have these big wings, and if you choose Slanesh specialization, they also get these warp bolts, increasing their general damage of 4 units of the 8. So these are for all paths, but are excel if you chose Slanesh. These two over here, the favorite Bloodletters and the favorite Demonettes, are only available if you choose Slanesh or Khorne, respectively. The favorite Demonettes are basically better Demonettes, have also the greater Allure and greater Pavane of Slanesh, basically greater versions These are still a target ability, lasts longer, and the victims still affected even if they lose sight of them. So yeah, this is basically a better version. The Pavan also dancing longer and causing severe morale loss and increase the attack's ferocity. So this is also a damage increase. You see these are really fast once you use it, but it's a timed ability, so it will run off very quickly. Quickly jump over to the corn guy to see what these favored blood letters do. They basically do the same as normal blood letters, but better. They also have the blood haste ability and this blood reaper, which is very how should I say, very expensive unit. So here quite a lot of demonic power used for it, but it's very durable and very strong combatant. You can see here it has a little different hellblade as well. So those leads are not to be do not make fun of those, they will just kill you. So these are your lesser demons. Now quickly jump over to one little group over here. These obliterators and mutilators. Quickly jump over to the right player so we can see what they can do. They have no abilities but a jump ability, and they are enabled by one research in the dark circle over here, which is one over here that enables them to get built from the HQ. Limited to 1 squad each. They are, as you see, mutilators and obliterators. The mutilators do have one passive ability. They can leech health as well, so they also have the health leech that the corn units have. And they do count as infantry. Quickly check in, and they can also capture points. So the Furies, the Hate Angels, and Mutilators and Obliterators can capture points. All the other units can not. They are pretty good. Mutilators for melee superiority, Obliterators range superiority. Check that they only cost power. So to build them and to sustain them, you need quite a lot of power income. So this is your infantry. Now quickly jump over to the vehicles. And vehicles are pretty cool in that you have these defiler variants. You can get all of those. The thing is, the more defilers you have, the more you pay for the next one. So either queue them up all together or make sure you have enough resources for them. We have the Slaughter Fiend, the Desecrator, the Debasher, and the Deceiver. All of them cannot be repaired. They regenerate health on their own, and they have a little morale decreasing aura around them. And you can increase their armor class with the first of the building researches that grants buildings more HP, I think, or even some resistance. It also increases the resistance of these 4 units around them. Also, they have also range option, and I think the Deceiver also has range option that confuses units, I think. And then you have the Ancient Juggernaut, which is actually built from the Lesser Demon Portal. Also takes up Lesser Demon Cap. All these take up Greater Demon Cap and can be deep striked. Can detect. What does it also can? Leeches also health, like these melee cornate kind of units also leeches health. This unit is not tied to any path. You can get it from any path, or even if you choose none. It has the ability to headbutt, which basically can choose a unit around it to smash the head against. Better use it's effective. Distorting is oriented. It's a stun ability around, and then it can also rampage, which is basically one of these funny abilities where it can go through, but if there's just the slightest stone in the way, it cannot get it. This is the engine at its best. And then you have these Blight Drones. The Blight Drones in general are ranged vehicles, only buildable by Nurgle from the Greater Demon Portal, and so only buildable if you get Nurgle. Ranged, start with 1 unit, can be reinforced, limited of 3, can jump, so they are not flyers but like hover units in a sense. And then the last vehicle options you have over here are the Greater Demon vehicles over here, which are tier 1 Titans. The description is not upgraded yet. They sometimes state that they are relic units and that they have a shared cap and stuff. They do not have a shared cap with any relics or stuff. They only have a shared cap under each other. Then we have the Creator Death Reel, the Lord of Skulls, the Creator's Brass Scorpion, and the Soul Grinder. All of these also have a morale reduction aura around them, and are used for different roles. You can see it over here. Do not go through the details because they're all really good. The biggest swag points, of course, go to the Soul Grinder over here, which got a completely new model in the last version, I think, and yeah, looks absolutely awesome. But also, yeah, the Scorpion, the good of Lord of Skulls, which can cut your head off with this one, but also can have some artillery, and then you have the Greater Death Reel, which can, it's a pretty funny unit. If it moves around, this thing gets a little faster than it moves, so it reminds me of the Skaven unit. The last machine-like unit you have access to are the Fire Lord, which is your super heavy. So it's you can get it as with all the other relics and stuff. And yeah, this is aircraft unit, very cool. I do not think I can show you the attacks, but it's really nice. I really like these Fire Lords in general. So you have a flyer unit for the Chaos Demons as well. Lastly, we have here over here the Greater Demons. The Greater Demons, you have some in tier 3 available. The Greater Chaos Spawn is treated more like one of these defilers, which means he also increases in cost with these defilers, and he also increases the cost of these defiler variants because it's meant to be the Chaos Undivided variety you can think of. And then we have these three over here, the Blood Crusher, the Seeker of Slanesh, and the Burning Chariot of Siege, which is in the same class as the Blight Drones, but the Blight Drones are vehicles. So depending on which Chaos God you choose, you get access for the Blood Crusher, the Blight Drones, the Seeker of Slanesh, or the Burning Chariot of Siege. So these are one of the few units that are only available for one specific path you chose. The Blood Crusher, we can jump over, has the similar abilities as the Ancient Juggernaut over here. You have this Fury of Khorne. He has not the headbutt, he has the Fury of Khorne. He gets more damage, and yeah, you need to pay a price and then it will get increased damage. You can see here. Then you have also the Rampage ability, so you can try to knock some people around. If you choose Slanesh, you have the Seeker of Slanesh, which has also a charge ability, I think. It has also the Rampage ability and is in general a really good melee combatant. And you then have the Burning Chariot of Siege. If you go for Siege, which is a very unique unit, in that it has this flame path around it if it moves. So it deals damage in melee and range, but most importantly has this flame trail around it. It can also jump, so there will be no flame trail really when it jumps. So you have these little flames over here, and yeah, it's basically this little area. They take damage over time in that. Okay, these are more or less your smaller Greater Demons, but you also have access to the big four, the Bloodthirster and such. You can get multiple of them actually. These are your relic units, that is. So we had the tier 1 Titans. These are your relic units. In tier 4 requiring a relic. You can get multiple of them, but the production time is in general pretty high as it is a relic unit. And for every Greater Demon on the field, the production time for the next one increases quite immensely. So having more than 2 on the field is a very rare sight. Also take up 2 Greater Demon pops, so just because of that you're pretty limited. The Bloodthirster is the Bloodthirster you all know and love. It is really good in melee, can jump, regenerates health while in combat. Yeah. Then you have the Great Unclean one, the big stinky boy over here. Can puke around, doing some damage in the AoE, and has a spit, which is a bigger range. So all the good stuff over here. Then you have the Keeper of Secrets, very good melee combatant as well. Little less health, but in generally more damage orientated, as it is the way of Slanesh. Has the Greater Allure, which is I think, yeah, any can still, but still defend herself. So it is also target. I think it was around her, but it is also targeted thingy. Causing to be stunned and turned against each other. Okay, so it's a creator allure similar to the creator demonettes, but yeah, I think in general a bit stronger. Can defend herself, it says. And then you have the Lord of Change. And the Lord of Change has so much different abilities that I really need to read them because they are... I always forget what I can do. He can also jump, nice, but he has very different abilities. You have a Bolts of Change, 3 bolts, ranged, basically a ranged attack, but costs power. Then have the Winds of Change. All enemy units within an area are pushed away, basically around him. This spell is taxing, draining some HP. Okay, and then you have the Invulnerability, which makes him or any other unit invulnerable to damage for a certain amount of time. And then the one that is mostly used is Warp Time, which basically makes zip. Everything will get slower. Any enemy that will get slower or get slowed. And I think it also that accelerates the recharge rate and magic abilities of friendly units, but magic energy spell can be used only in unit and vehicle buildings, cannot affect allies as well. No, wait, I'm looking. Warp Time, here, sorry. The enemy is slowed, all units and structures receive overall slowdown in all aspects, like reload time, related to time, and lose access to their abilities. So this is a big one. The costs quite a lot, and yeah, is very good in general. So a lot of different abilities. And then we have the Scarbrand, which is your tier 2 Titan. This is one of the strongest tier 2 Titans in the game. It regenerates pretty fast when near allied buildings, like your HP and morale inducing buildings. Is relatively slow, but can jump very fast. You can see here, very fast. Cannot jump map wide anymore. Before you could just jump at any point on the map. Has a variety of different abilities, and didn't I research the last one? You can have. Okay, I have it. It's a passive aura, I think. Can one of these swords, which I do not know what they are good against, you can read it for yourself. Very late game stuff. So yeah, if you want to have all the details, please read for yourself. Very expensive as well. Has a lot of different abilities. He can jump, but he can also forced challenge, creates a telekinesis blast that forced pushes enemies units towards Scarbrand. So yeah, you can push some units near them. You have a big firebolt ability. Boom. You have Warp Shroud, creates a small dimensional rift on the ground, allows warp entities to power 4. The rift is temporarily creating an area. Instability protection to all units and commanders around it. Attacks all affected creatures, leads smaller person of health. So this is a support ability, and then you have the Warp Storm, which I want to use when I'm a little far away, because I think it also does some friendly damage. Very, very look at the price, but you can create a Warp Spawn over here. It's basically a big when does it start? Here, yeah, it does I think a big damage. First enemies in 15 minutes were multiple seconds driven to madness, so they are basically confused. Find targets for Warp Storm and summoning, destroying most objects in a radius. So it also deals friendly damage. As you see, against these structures and everything, deals a lot of damage. And yeah, monstrous creatures, invoking power. Yeah, so this is a big ability, which I'm not really convinced that it is worth the price, however. And then you can research one ability if you choose Greater Demons, which gives him a passive ability that trains enemy morale, I think. Okay, I killed one building over here, which I want to use, so give me a second. Need to get a... Do we have a builder left? Yeah, because I wanted to show you one last greater demon, which you can get from the Maledictum. The Maledictum can turn into a greater demon as well if you got the resources and the tier 1 Titan research and a critical and a relic, which is the Hellspawn. It will destroy the Maledictum and we create a Hellspawn over here, which is a very slow moving kind of demonic head with range attacks. It can summon Furies. It also has these has a wall of fire, basically a big Fury attack. Has a Doom Blast ability, also a damage ability, and can summon a Rift. One of the last units that can summon a Rift, and it can also teleport because it's so slow. But I thought it will take. Doesn't it lose some HP when it teleports? I thought it reduces maximum HP when teleporting. Maybe in death mode it does something different. It can also ground attack, and when it dies, it turns back to the Maledictum. So you can summon him again. There you have it. His Maledictum is back. He can be summoned once again if you get the resources and stuff. So yeah, and now we can quickly, this is still on cooldown. Give me a second, I want to check it. It has now 4.8k, and if we jump, let's say over here, it takes some damage, but not maximum HP. It does some damage to it as well. So this is also a tier 1 Titan unit. It does not share a cap with these units, so it's separate in that sense. So because it's so special, it's summoned special, and it's very slow and not as generally goodness mobility as these. So this is why this is summoned differently. Okay, I hope I didn't miss a thing, but I'm pretty sure I did. You see here still the effects of the Warp Storm over here. So yeah. Of course I forgot something. The Demon Lords over here. We will want to look at the Demon Princes. They are different depending on what Demon Lord you have on the ground. Because I have enabled, we now quickly look for the Corn Lord over here. Corn Lord can jump. One of the Demon Princes that can jump. Mark of Blood. He will get Berserk basically and uncontrollable, but deal more damage and stuff. It also has the Breath of Chaos, which is one of these breath abilities dealing some damage. And all these princes, of course, can also summon in these portals once they are the portal thingy is researched. So we'll now quickly check all the different demon lords over here. This is now your Slanesh demon prince. The demon prince, it takes a bit for them to summon in, but most of them can jump. Not all, but this is one that can jump. Also has the Breath of Chaos, but also the Curse of Slanesh. Troops within the target area take damage. Their faces and bodies get scarred and ugly. So yeah, it's some damage ability in this general area. Pretty cool effects for it as well. Okay, we got again this one. Now we look at the Nurgle one. The Nurgle one, as you would suggest, is more durable and has more HP. I think generally more HP is the right. No, same HP but more HP regeneration. Also has the Breath and Summon, but also has the Nurgle Rot ability, which is the same ability as the Herald of Herald of Nurgle has, but does not have a jump ability. Now we're missing the Undivided and the Siege one. The Undivided over here will turn into the Greater, the Ancient Demon Prince, which is in general, I think, the strongest variant of them. So there's this one benefit of going Undivided. Has double the HP, it more or less has double the HP, is really strong as well. Has the Greater Flame Tongue, which is this flaming ability over here. Look at it go. Has, of course, the Summon. Has the Hell Mouth. Flame causing area damage. Looking like, just more damage. Yeah, look at it go. Really nice. And then it has the Doom ability. Unleashes his unholy wrath, mass murdering most units around him. So it's basically like an AoE damage around him. So very good abilities, but all cost power. So this power consumption in the late game is quite a thing for the demons. Now quickly jumping over to the last demon prince for Siege. And then we have one last thing I want to explain to you. So transcend to the Demon Prince of Siege. I really dig those models. I like all of them. The Cornate one has this the Corn standard and stuff. The Nurgle, of course, with this horn. The Greater one is just great. And then yeah, the wings and stuff for the Slanesh one. And also look at the Demon Prince here of Siege. The Demon Prince of Siege, of course, as it is the Scene Tray, has a lot of abilities. Can jump, can use a breath as the others, the Rift. But also this wall of wild magic that causes damage and knocks back units in its path. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, so it's basically like the Flame Tongue but cooler. And then it has the temporary paradox. Surrounds himself with an aura. Also increases the damage of his close combat attacks. And yeah, so he can deal, I think he deals some damage around it, but also deals more damage himself, so very good ability in general. And there's one last thing I want to tell you. I showed you that you have like Scarbrand, the Exiled one. This is your tier 2 Titan if you chose Greater Demons. There's a tier 2 Titan equivalent ability unit thingy magics you can get if you have lesser demons enabled. This is one you can summon in from your HQ, which is called Unleash Hell. I show it to you last because, yeah, it's, you will see. You can use it very cheap, so it's way more affordable than Scarbrand, and you can use it multiple times, but has a lengthy cooldown. It basically summons this hellish portal, which then will summon in units around, random units. Most of the time, lesser demons, but it also can summon greater demons at times. And yeah, it stays here for quite a while, and yeah, these units are uncontrollable. The only thing you can do is you can stop them and you can kill them, but in general they are uncontrollable. And yeah, mixed variety of units can summon here. I have the complete overview in the tech tree, where you see all the units. There are 2 special units here. Model wise, I think there's the previous version of the Favored Demonettes, or I think that the icon at least it is, and there are special blood letters that have a really ancient model to them. So yeah, good luck spotting these. And yes, you have also a chance for the Greater Demons over here. Okay, this covers the units. I think we will quickly also cover the campaign Honor Guard units. So I have also those covered. These are for the most part not very special, but yeah, I want to show it. And as you see here, we got lucky. We got Greater is pleased and will fight for you. There's some of them will not be pleased, so this is a random chance if they will fight for you or if they will be not fighting for you, because yeah, they are like, what the heck are you doing with these Greater? Why are you summoning me, Greater Demon? And yeah, that's why I wanted to show you at last, because it will basically kill the enemy by itself without me interlocking. So yeah, see you in a second with the campaign units. And here we see the campaign Honor Guards. The campaign Honor Guards, as you see, are more or less the standard units, but what is important that you can get some of these heralds for all the different gods, even without choosing a worship, and you can get then I think 2, for example, 2 heralds of Slanesh. If you go for Slanesh, you can build another one. So this is very nice. So you have more units to attach your units to, which then will not gain any instability effects. You also have access to all the tier 1 units except for the Plague Bearers, which are your tier 2 units. Then you have access to Pink Horrors and also Furies, which are already infiltrated but do not get benefits from the upgrades of the Furies. So they do not get the flame stuff, but yeah, are infiltrated from the get-go. And all these lesser demons have the trait that they will not lose morale when not close to a building. You see here how no matter how far I go with this lesser, they will not drain morale. What they will, however, they have still the instability effect. So if they lose morale, their stability to attacks, basically, they still have the instability effects in the sense that they will lose HP and cannot be reinforced. In general, like all honor guards are lower in squad size, but higher in individual HP, for example. And yeah, Plague Bearers and Siege Pink Horrors also have access to the special weapons with the tier 3 and their respective god. So So yeah, nothing really special for the honor guards in the campaign. I just wanted to show it to you that you have some cool stuff in the campaign. There's a small issues in the meta map. That's the Plague Bearers and the Horrors currently do not have an icon and no cost associated. Whenever there's a next version for the campaign, this will be fixed as well. I didn't tell you the little UCS, little text decryption issues with the creator demons and stuff. This, whenever there will be a new version, this will be fixed. I have recorded them and they are already fixed for the next version. Okay, with all these units and all this information, we now go into the tech tree, which is a little convoluted at times, but this is because you have all these different worships and stuff. It is gotten in this version way more straightforward than it was in previous version. So version 7 is a great version to start playing Chaos Demons, I have to say. So if you haven't already, play it a bit. But yeah, I get ahead of myself. We see us in the tech tree in a second. And here we are in the tech tree document. In the tech tree document, I have this little color coding here. Like everything you see that has no color is basically available for all paths or undivided. And if something is only available for one of the paths, you see it in red outlines for Khorne, green outlines for Nurgle, purple for Slanesh, and blue for Tzeentch. Very understandable, I think. And then, yeah, if you look a little outside, you see here the worships give you this, this is when you can decide the worships when you choose lesser or greater demon path. So you need the dark circle for it. To tech up, you also need the dark circle and the lesser summoning portal, and then you need always the next building, like the greater demon portal for the next one, then the doom pit for the last one, and the last two one can be just basically instantly, but cost a lot of power, the tier 1 Titan research and the tier 2 Titan. You can also see here that I have this little cross for stuff that is disabled, like this cross is purple, so this unit will get disabled if you choose Slanesh, because it's a Khorne unit. So that's how you understand that one. Yeah, this is that, and then you have the 4 different units that are only available for certain gods, similar here, the favored bloodletters and favored demonettes, for example. You have the Maledictum, where you have the researches depending if you go lesser or greater demons here, some dependencies, and then the most confusing quote-unquote part is with the dark circle, the research building, because I have here, like, if you go lesser, if you go greater, and then in the middle are the researches you can get for both, basically, like the demon lord stuff here you can get for both, but the armor increase is for lessers, and this one increases the mass of your lesser demons, so they cannot be pushed around as easily, is only for greater demons. And yeah, stuff in the middle, as I said, for both. This is the one that increases the building HP and stuff, and also the armor class of the Defiler Orions, and this is the one that grants the flamey stuff for the buildings. This is the Obliterate and Mutilator research, for example. Later on, the portal is for both, of course. And then this one I found out pretty late. This upgrade here increases the maximum morale, and morale reduces the morale degeneration. And then depending what paths you choose, you get a better version of those and of this. And this one, I think, says that it increases their morale armor, so they do not take, it states any damage, morale damage from enemy attacks. So it's only the general degeneration that makes the units unstable. So very strong, but it is in tier 4, so because it is that strong. Here you have for the listening posts the different marks you can put on them. The marks cost some power as well, so everything research or late game wise costs some power. The upgrades, the different trades you can do, you can see here. Yeah, and here you have the hell portal, where I have all the units you can summon in from here. So the greater demonettes have older icon, and the where we have it, this one, the ancient bloodletters are a little throwback unit to an older model, I think that is. Okay, these are the building progression. Let's quickly talk about tier strengths. Chaos demons are generally very strong in tier 1 and very strong in tier 2. This is because they are very versatile. I mean, they're very melee based, yes, but they can deep strike right off the way. They have fast and strong units early on, like the melee units aren't slow, apart from the Nurgle units, so you can close the distance very well. You have Horrors, which can also, and Fiends of Slanesh, which can also deal some building damage in tier 1, which is something not all factions have availability to, so they can push in tier 1 really hard. Do not need to go to tier 2 that fast, but if you go to tier 2 fast, you get even stronger variants. Like a lot of people I see go for the Bloodletters, for example, they are very strong, but these others are also very strong. I myself like to play, for example, Nurgle, go tier 2, get the Demon Lord, the Herald of Nurgle, 2 squads of Plague Bearers, attach them, reinforce, and go. These are very durable, and with the support with the Herald of Nurgle and the Demon Lord here can do quite a lot of work for you. These I struggle myself but this is mostly me. I have seen other players use them very well, are the Demonettes. They can have, with their lore is very good, their Pavan as well, and yeah, the Herald of Slanesh is also pretty strong, so if you have a little more skill, basically, than me, you can make very good use of the Slanesh build, which I myself aren't the greatest. And what is important is that you do not need to lock yourself in the mindset, I play Slanesh, so I need to play these horses over here and these Demonettes. You can just say, okay, horses in tier 1 and then add some flamers in tier 2 if I need it. So they are very versatile to switch and choose if you go. Even if you choose for one path, you do not need to build only that one path. Even if I choose Siege, I can get a Bloodletter because I need some melee units, you know, that's very nice. And if you choose a path, you can make use of it. In tier 3, they are still very strong because of the Hate Engines and Ancient Juggernauts and these Defilers, which are in general very strong. And then dependent, if you choose one, if you choose none, you do not have access to those. But if you choose one of those, these units are all pretty strong as well. So throughout the tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, they are very strong. In general, getting some good upgrades all the while as well. If you have the power, if you can add these Mutilators, they can, and Obliterators, they can be a backbone in the sense that they can provide you some stable units that cannot be deep stabilized. They can teleport and they can also cap and decap, so very versatile in that sense. Same as these Hate Angels, which double down as some additional ranged fire support. So these Hate Angels in general is a unit you would always want to get in tier 3, for example. These depend, you will need to pay a lot of power, which will then delay your tier 4 by quite a bit. Tier 4, however, isn't the strongest. Yes, you get some pretty strong upgrades. You get your greater demons over here, but they take long to build. And so this slows down your progression quite a bit. And yeah, then you have your tier 1 Titan phase where you have the last bit of upgrades, which are really strong. You have your tier 1 Titans, your Hell Drake, I think was called, your Flyer. So this, this is good that you have these tier 1 Titans. So this is your late game situation. And as you have also access to tier 2 Titans or an equivalent to that, you can also with these can hold your own in your late game. But in generally, I would say the strongest phase is tier 2 to tier 3 is the strongest phase of demons. But yeah, you can also pull off pretty nifty rush builds with them being aggressive very early on. Yeah, but they also depend if you want to go later in the tiers with good upgrades. You know, there's also upgrades for your Lost Souls, which gives them even longer sight range and stuff like that. So yeah, there are a lot of good upgrades, but you need to prioritize as you cannot get all of them. Okay, now quickly jumping over to the units. I have made clear which unit has the instability effect with this little instability marker over here. Again, the units with the different branches, the respective color, passive bonuses they get from different stuff. You can see here that they are the instability and stuff, and if they have some extra abilities, it is also listed here. There are some upgrades for the greater demons, which gives them a fear aura, so a morale regeneration aura. I think this is this one. And this one gives them a more durability. I'm not really sure. One of these gives, I think, durability. So you see here a lot of passive stuff for that. Yeah, try to get all the different abilities together here. You see here the weapons and options for Scarbrand are vast. The different demon lords, and then in the end I also have listed the campaign and honor guard units. In survival you get basically normal units, all the normal units you have, and what is really nice that you get one more of these, what is it called again? Give me a second. Soul Grinder, so a tier 1 Titan actually, which is nice because most of your honor guard bonus units are melee based, which is normally nothing you really want to have in survival. But if you play survival as Chaos Demons, you want to switch your mindset anyway, I guess. So yeah, that's that. As the usual, these Techtrees are available in my Google Drive, which I have linked in the description. Now we will jump over to some build orders. And here we are on the build order document. And before we go through them, one little note. I'm not really good with Chaos Demons, so these build orders maybe are not the the most accurate and the most optimal way to play Chaos Demons. So if you have a really nice build order in mind, or a replay of a really nice build order of a good player like Gappy R, for example, please share it, and I will gladly update this build order document as I see new and cool build orders. I have structured these build orders more or less by the Chaos Gods. It's not that you need to choose a God path already, but are centered around units from the different God. One of the most, I say, standard ways to play them is the Siege way, where you get the 2 Furies, of course, another builder. Your summoning portal, only 2 of these right away because they cost some resources, but they will get some resources back very quickly. But in the beginning you want to have one of these Screamers and then a Horror as well out before then you can build the third one. You can also choose to build it out on the map anywhere to get some stability around it. As it also gives you some building area around it, this warp signature, you can also use it to make a little outpost where you also build a turret, for example. But yeah, later on you want to have your Demon Lord, of course, and yeah, depending on the situation, more Horrors or a second Screamer. More than 2 Screamers I wouldn't recommend. What in this build works good, because you have the Screamers, is the armor, so they will have a better durability. You can also skip this and get a faster tier 2 if you want. Second one is the Corn build. Note here that I get the mark before the Lord. So the opener looks similar. You get 2 Furies and a second builder, but then you will get a summoning and the Dark Circle as well. Also 2, because why can you afford 2 and still units? Because these hounds are cheaper. You want to choose one of these, because to go Core Knight specialization you need to choose one of those. You can go both basically, because yeah, you have those and later want to have one Horror at least for some range support, and you want to have the Demon Lord out, which I need to change the icon over here. It will have this little corn icon over here. So you have the Cornate Demon Lord, which is in general a bit better in melee, so you have him out right away. In general, you do not want to build too much stuff in tier 1, because in tier 2 you want then add some bloodletters with this. Then you have the Slanesh build. This is the one I'm I'm worst with, so do not take this too granted. You see that you will even delay the second builder over here, because you need everything you can to get these very expensive horses over here. I've seen players to go for 3 or even 4 horses, so you can make this to pretty much a T1 all in. But yeah, adding a horror is never a bad idea before later getting the Dark Circle in tier 2. You can even opt to skip the Demon Lord if you do not want to, but in general, I think the Demon Lord is very good, as you can attach them to one of those, so they get a lot more stability. And I do not have a Nurgle themed build, because like the Nurglings in general aren't very good on their own. They're more of a supportive role. You can, let's say, sprinkle into any of these builds. But what I do have is a tier 2 rush. This is here. You can get very fast tier 2 and then get the strong tier 2 units. As for every tier 2 rush, if you have an enemy that is very aggressive early on, you basically have lost. Especially with with this build, because you only have like 2 Furies. You can build it a little around that you only get like 1 unit, so you have a little fighting force and then get a later tier 2, but this is always the fastest way to get to tier 2. And again, if you have another nifty build order for the early game, please share it to me so I can look at it and add it into this list. As usual, we will finish this guide video with a replay, and this is a replay not played by me because I suck with Chaos Demons. I have a replay of Kubini. The replay is from the UGL, and this is not the best opponent he has, but still it pretty shows pretty well, I think, this build order of Khorne over here. So yeah, we will see us then in the game in a second. And here we are on the example replay where we see Nomad or Pro Gamer fight against Kubini as Chaos Demon. So we stick to Kubini's side of things. You see he gets the Furies and the second builder. He gets a Warp Portal and the Dark Circle and 2 Warp Signals. So pretty much exactly the build order I showed you over on the build order document. And yeah, as I'm not really sure if I even have casted this UGL game of these two as when I release this guide, so you have a little sneak peek of the cast of the UGL, the first matches over here. Yeah, and yeah, as you have finished the lesser demon portal, you will then want to get the hounds. One thing I find interesting, which I maybe need to do myself, is get outer points first, so you can then come closer to your base where you have the stability effects with your Furies, which is nice. He goes for lesser demons, of course. And now gets the second builder out to get it over here. Does he also attach it? You can also, for the time being, attach it over here, so they will get some morale back. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. And you see the Worship of Khorne has been chosen and builds the first Flesh Hound over here. Torture Slave doing some random stuff. As I said, the general game isn't the greatest to look as, let's say, this is a nice competitive game, but it really shows nicely the build order I wanted to show over here. So these guys will lose morale because yeah, the little lost soul didn't attach to them. That's something. And then we have now the hounds out and about, will make short work of this slave, of course, but can also make short work if get reinforced, make good damage against other units around. No second hound yet because he is busy building up his listening post for now. And yeah, look how fast they are. Really late on the tower building and stuff. As I said, not the greatest game, but yeah, the build order will get shown pretty good anyway. And then you see the second Flesh Hounds, and you note that he did it even before reinforcing those. This is very important because you want to have more squads out first before reinforcing your existing squad, which is a general principle of Dawn of War, because more squads can be microed better than one squad with a lot of units. Is the idea behind. And you also can deep strike them, so you can see here he deep strikes them in, so you have now 2 squads to fight. The one that has losing HP should be taken out of this combat. One thing to note, which is a thing many people will struggle, I think, with Chaos Demons as well, is that you will lose squads. It's no way around. Normally in Dawn of War you try to avoid any squad losses as much as possible, and you should also do this for the Chaos Demons, but even if you lose some squads, you can still yeah, fight very well. And you see here he uses now the eating ability, increasing the HP, general HP of his units, so very nicely done as well. And now it's the question, how is the transition? I think I showed you in the build order to get another of these warp signatures and then basically go to tier 2 or get the Demon Lord. I think I showed you, so I'm not sure if he goes for the Demon Lord. Demon Lord is very expensive, but yeah, very good as well. So for now he's around with 2 of these hounds, and yeah, I said I would add a Horror, I think, as well. Not sure, he's still busy getting his units. He saved these squads with attaching the souls. You see here, very just in time basically. Yeah, and now reinforces them and tries to find a way to attack. I think, do they still have the lost soul attached? Yeah, so he now has the lost souls attached to them, so they will not get destabilized. More Furies get out to capture stuff. And I haven't seen the armor upgrade yet. For these founds, the armor upgrade can be very good if you chose lesser demon path. So that's something. But for now, it's busy killing some units around. You want to avoid the Archon. I think the Archon is nothing you can fight favorably. What you can do, however, is attack these generator or kill these mandrakes pretty well. He goes for the slave chamber. Not sure if that's the righteous. Oh, he goes for the slave, so that's good. And yeah, within these upgraded listing posts, I think you want to run away. Maybe kill these mandrakes for the time being, but then yeah, get out of the fire of this listing post would be my idea. Yeah, capturing relics and stuff is really tedious with those. You see they will lose morale in a second. And yeah, he gets a horror squad as well. So nice, very... I think I got the idea of this build order for this from this particular replay, but I have seen this kind of build order before, and it is, yeah, it's really good. You see these bloodhounds do good damage, and if they are allowed to fire, these horrors will also do some good supportive damage. Yeah, Nomad focuses on them for now, but yeah, there's a lot of hounds now going in, killing a listen post over here. So he can go to tier 2 if he hasn't already clicked, so he should. Or he goes now to the armor, which is nice, which I told you I would do. And yeah, you would need to get the Demon Lord or get to tier 2 now. So he goes even for the Demon Lord. So pretty much exactly the build order I have copied over. So Kopini, I copied your build order here because I think it's good. So we'll take that as a compliment, I guess. And yeah, then your tier 2 resources are also now out and should be going to 2 as soon as your Lord goes out. I think this armor here is not getting any HP bonuses. If I saw it correctly, it actually gives you more armor. There's an armor value in the game which reduces generally your damage, incoming damage basically. So this is what it addresses. It's not like your bionics, which increases quote unquote just your HP. So now there's the Archon out and a lot of mandrakes, so he needs to run away for now. The issue is that if you lose some of these lost souls, then yeah, the squads will break. You see here they're all red, and there will be a lot of models going down now. You see one will get poof, I think, even one more, or is he attaching a unit? Okay, he attached these lost soul, yeah, just in time so they will survive. If you go closer to a building, they will also regenerate some HP. Where's your Lord? Lord incoming now, looking really menacing. Really look at this go. Also like the cover icons, really nice. And yeah, is now busy fighting. Tier 2 should be on the way. Yes. And doing the first tradings here as well. The only thing I would add would be another of these warp signatures, but this is a minor detail. Losing a good flame tongue ability, it can be really hard to target it, especially in big fights where you hardly can click ground sometimes. So this was very nicely used. But yeah, the abilities for the Chaos Demons are in general very strong, but as I said, they cost demonic power, and demonic power is something, yeah, you also need for upgrades in tech. So yeah, it can sometimes be pretty taxing. Tier 2 is now finished. In the tier 2 you want to add blood letters and Herald of Corn. Blood letters he can get right away now. He's busy microing for now, but he can add 2 blood letters, and the Herald of Corn as well would be nice. Herald of Corn needs some power, I think, so you will need some the traits for that. And yeah, there's a stun ability on this squad from the Archon, but in general you see here that there are a lot of that units for the Dark Elder over here, so this is more or less the winning fight for him. You see these hounds are pretty good, kind of split up here, but still very good. Now getting the blood letters, as I said, and once these first traits are out, I think he will also get the Herald of Corns. You see him like pop. Yeah, immediately has it on Overwatch, the Herald of Corn. You can deep strike this Herald, so you can right click it here that it immediately goes in these lesser demon portals. And yeah, I think you want to get normally 2 blood letters. You will want to get the Demon Lord to one squad, and then the Herald of Corn to another squad. So yeah, you can have quite the army. And you see here that the population also lines up pretty well. These blood letters cost 3, so you can just get another one and then you're full. What you also can do is opt for the Aborn Geists commander unit, which is very nice. horror unit, and you see here what you always want to do is these lost souls on the ranged squad, because those aren't as endangered to be attacked, so your lost souls will survive there longer, and these horrors can have a longer range support. So he built one warp signature at the front, which gives you now the all units, if they come closer, the stability. He even builds now a lesser demon portal for the bonus auras it takes, and there comes the big herald with his big bone axe, whatever this is. Yeah, then he can chop some peoples. Also blood letters here. I think he will join the squad. Yes, and then yeah, you can use the blood haste and stuff and be very annoying. Yeah, you see the economy now also kicking in. He upgraded quite a lot of points, I think. Are these upgraded? Yeah, some are upgraded, even adding some now the Mark of Corn. These are global bonuses, the Mark of Corns. You don't need to be close to the shrines to get the bonuses from the marks. It's basically the more marks you have, the better you is. There's a GG now called, because I think it's one squad of blood letters now. If he got another squad, this would be absolutely devastating. I think he got rebuilt a Fury to get some capping capabilities on the map, but if this one here finishes, he then can add some blood letters, even getting the demonic fortitude, which increases the has it on Overwatch already finished as well. Increases the morale, the maximum morale, and I think also the morale degeneration is turned down a bit. So a very nice showcase of this build with some resistance, but not as much as the biggest resistance was this fight over here. But in generally a very good showcase on how you can open with these Bloodhounds very well, enabling you a Cornate build. But as I said, even you do not need to follow up with the blood letters per se. If you want to have more range supports, you also can add some more horrors, or these Ebon guys, or even Flamers of Scene, for example, all depending on what you really need at the moment. I see a lot of people like locking into this one god approach, which is nothing you really have to follow completely. So there's a lot of options. I think also a lot of unexplored options, because the Chaos Demons are so difficult to play, because they have a lot of melee. The instability is annoying for people to work around with, but there are a lot of strengths, and I think a lot of hidden strengths for this faction. So yeah, if I sound a little like an Edward for those, yeah, go play some Chaos Demons. I really want, so go play some Chaos Demons, get better with them, get some nifty strategies, share them, and yeah, make the Chaos Demons proud. You have a lot of options now in 7.0. Before they were very finicky to use at times. This update 7.0 made them really nice and more flexible and all the good stuff. Okay, as before I talk on and on and on, I will finish the video over here. As usual, if you have something to add, if I told some wrong information, if you have additional information, anything, leave it in the comments. And yeah, as usual guys, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!